This YCN segment is brought to you by M.J. Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, as we are set to begin the fourth quarter of action. Newport Tigers leading the Kearsarge Cougars 14-6. Handoff goes to Tebow, and he is chased down. Nicely done there by the defender, number 36, Noah Tucker.
Nice job by Noah Tucker. And so I was saying earlier in the game, he's one of the shorter players out there. He's just a boy, but led the team last year in tackles. He's a great linebacker. Follows the ball well.
Yeah, a lot of speed there to chase the running back from behind and catch Tebow before he hit that corner, and that'll limit him to only a 2 or 3 yard gain. 2nd and 7 now. Clock moving here. The handoff to the up back, and I believe that's Turgeon again, and he's going to be hit immediately. Not even sure he got back to the line of scrimmage.
I believe that was Ryan Ellis there, number 59 on Kearsarge, starting that contact there. Making a nice play, and Cougar defense looking good right here in the last couple of plays.
Third down.
This is a big third down right here. Really, no one has scored for a long period of time, especially with that opening kickoff touchdown return. Only 13 other points in this game.
Only one offensive touchdown,
Right,
and that was the 2 yard run by Magestro, quarterback keeper. Here's a pass. Finally see the Tigers throw it, and they get it. A man open, but then dropped. Cody Turgeon, number 85, not able to come up with it.
Yeah, Turgeon had to turn his body to try to make that pass. It was a pretty good throw. Just couldn't come down with it. Looked like he was open. He wasn't able to make the play. Maybe the pass a little too far to his left.
So fourth down now.
Yeah.
Imagine you go for it. You're inside the 30-yard line. Your defense has played well this game. Obviously only giving up the one touchdown. So you'll go for it here. Malou under center. And before they get the play off, they will call timeout. So Newport wants to talk it over. With 10:21 to go, we'll take a timeout as well. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Mount Sunapee Resort. Fun for all seasons.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 10:21 to go in the fourth quarter. Newport leading Kearsarge 14-6 on opening weekend here in North Sutton, New Hampshire.
Tune in every week for YCN Sports Wrap, focusing on the area's high school varsity sports. If you're watching this game from noon to 2 p.m. on Sunday, Sports Wrap follows at 2:30. Check your local listings for other air times.
So the Tigers face a crucial fourth down here.
Ooh.
And Malou is hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Really never gave him a chance. His offensive line didn't look too good there as he was hit as he threw. Kearsarge football.
Nice job by the Kearsarge defensive line there, putting pressure on the quarterback. Wasn't really able to get his complete arm on that throw. Almost a Cougar interception there, but it's probably better for Kearsarge actually, because get a few more yards out of the play.
Man in motion, and the handoff goes to 11 Emerson Tyler. He's able to scamper forward for 4 or 5 yards.
The Newport Tigers have given up some big running plays to the Cougars, but for the most part, Newport has stopped those big running plays. Had a few guys get into some space, but they've always been able to bring them down and stop them eventually.
Flag on the field before the play starts. I'm sure that'll be a false start, illegal motion, something on the Cougar squad, and we have officially reached 2 quarters without a score. It was 9:39 to go in the second quarter when they scored last. So obviously almost there at 9:39 of this quarter. It'll be 2 full quarters, 24 minutes without a score. And the Cougars will pick it up here after the penalty, 2nd and 12. Magestro in the shotgun, and the snap was maybe a little late for the motion, or the motion was a little early, but either way, it's going to be another penalty on this Cougar team, and they've had a lot of penalties. You can tell it's opening night. Their timing hasn't been right. They've had a lot of sloppy pre-snap penalties it's been.
Yeah, the first quarter was bad for Kearsarge, and really up until this point, false starts, they really stopped. They started to calm down, but on this drive, already had 2 pre-snap flags. Can't be having that. Coach Matthews definitely not happy.
So Magestro in the shotgun snap. Now we're back to 2nd and 17, and another penalty as the snap hits the ground. Another penalty. That is 3 straight penalties without even having a snap.
Right, yeah, and if you're the Cougars, I mean, you can't be having this. You can't expect to win games if you're going to have 3 pre-snap flags. That is just bad. I think they're having some trouble with their center snapping the ball after their main center went out with an injury, Andrew Grillo.
Right, I mean, that seems to be the problem. The snap count is a little bit off, but as we see a nice pass out in the flat to Emerson Tyler, and he's got some daylight. He hits the corner, and he's down the sidelines. Flag on the play, but not before Tyler gets to the 48-yard line of the Tigers, but a flag on the play on the near sideline right in front of the Kearsarge bench. Refs are going to talk about it and see where they'll spot this. Refs talking it over. Kearsarge doesn't look too happy, as looks like they'll pace this one off, and this one's going backwards.
Is it holding or blocking the back?
And he's motioning to the sideline. I don't know if they could be some sort of penalty for, I mean, the play was run towards the sideline,
right,
but it was run towards the Kearsarge sideline, so you wouldn't think they would be interfering. But either way, it's going to be a long way back, 10 yards from the spot. But right now, as it stands, they've given them, oh, maybe they just haven't reset the first down marker. So they had originally counted it off from the penalty spot. They'll count it from the end of the run. It'll be 1st down and 10 at the Cougar 36-yard line, 8:45 to play. Snap goes to Magestro. Splits out to the right, has a man, throws it up for grabs, and it's just through the hands of Hernan, the tight end.
It was a nice pass by Magestro. It was a good idea. But Hernan did have to do a 180 to try to make that catch, and really just went through his hands. Would have been a big grab, but a tough play to make. See what Kearsarge does here on 2nd down.
So 2nd and 10 for the Cougars. They have been a predominantly rush-heavy team in the opening game. Going with a pass play there, but they'll go back to the ground game as Seaholm gets the handoff. He's dragged down by a Tiger defender. 61 on the tackle, Peter Tebow.
3rd down.
The senior offensive and defensive lineman.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the H.R. Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game.
So 3rd and about 5. Run up the middle there. Kicks to the outside is Magestro, and he's got a lot of daylight before he's forced out of bounds by a couple Tiger defenders. So Kearsarge with the first down run, and now they're trying to make something happen here. And if you're the Cougars, you're inside the 30-yard line. Out the 27, you need to score here. Put some more points on the board.
Yeah, a touchdown is absolutely needed if you're the Cougars. Can't settle for anything less. There's no guarantee you're going to get back to the spot. Got to go all in right here.
So Magestro in the shotgun with Seaholm back there. He goes in motion to his left. Magestro hands it off, though, to number 27, Brody Messer.
Nice job by Peter Tebow there of Newport making that tackle. He read the fake handoffs and followed the correct guy. Made a nice move and put Kearsarge right back where they started.
Bring up second down and 10. Snap to Magestro. He drops back. Two defenders. He fights off one. He's going to have to run it. He's got a little bit of room, gets around the corner, and he barrels into a Tiger defender after he gains a handful of yards, and that'll bring up third down.
Third down.
Today's coverage is being brought in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all of your printing needs, and thank all of our advertisers for their support.
So Magestro with a nice play there, making something out of nothing as he had two defenders, shook one off and then outran the other one to the corner and gained 4 or 5 yards. Brings up third and manageable here. Magestro hands to Seaholm, who cuts up the middle, and
Number 15, Logan
looks like it should be enough. And it will be enough for a first down. That'll bring up first and 10. And the Cougars, really, this is one of their better drives of the night.
Yeah, it really is. Magestro playing very well. There's definitely been times tonight where I thought he just should have gotten rid of the ball, but he held on to it that last play and gained some yards. Now let's see if Kearsarge can score another touchdown.
Ball on the 16-yard line, first and 10, low snap, but Magestro picks it up. And he'll fall forward to get back to the line of scrimmage.
It'll be second down.
Next week's YCN Game of the Week travels to Bellows Falls as they take on Brattleboro. And the following week, YCN will be in Middlebury as they take on St. Johnsbury. Game of the Week premieres every Saturday night on YCN.
Second and 11 here for the Cougars. Losing a yard on that last play. High snap, but Magestro boots it. And then luckily for the Cougars, an alert, very alert offensive lineman is able to jump on the football.
And that could have been a disaster there for the Cougars. We're still seeing some snapping struggles. The center has not been too accurate with his snaps.
Well, in there, Magestro's been ready for the low snap all night. He wasn't ready for the high snap. It bounced off his fingertips, and then he kicked it as it was coming down, so that knocked him back another 10 yards. Another high snap, and Magestro, once again, just has to jump on it. So now they're back to the 42-yard line when they had this first down at, I believe, it was the 16-yard line or the 20-yard line. Somewhere was the original. I mean, the original line of scrimmage was 20-plus yards up.
Yeah, and this is just not looking good for Kearsarge. Really, snapping the football should be something, should be able to get down relatively easily. With that injury to the Cougars center, really struggling with the snaps. Kearsarge forced to punt.
So Seaholm back to field to take the snap. He gets his kick away, and it bounces just about the 10-yard line before it goes to a stop. Touched by the Cougar. And it'll bring up first down for the Tigers with 4:37 to go. Tigers leading 14-6. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by New London Hospital, an affiliate of Dartmouth Hitchcock.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. We're inside 5 minutes here. Tigers football. They also have the lead 14-6. Deep inside their own territory. Need to get some forward yardage here. And Tebow is tackled immediately. That's not going to produce much. They stopped there by the Kearsarge Cougars after having to punt it away.
Number 62, Gage Fleming on the tackle for the Cougars.
Ball sits just inside their own 10-yard line. Second down.
YCN is now affiliated with the Heroes and Icons Network. H&I is your destination for television's heroic characters and iconic stars, drawing from timeless classics as well as more contemporary TV. All eyes are on H&I.
So here goes 2nd and 10 for the Tigers, and a flag on the play. Must have been, I'm sure it was a illegal motion or illegal substitution penalty. I think the Tigers had an extra.
Too many men.
Yeah, an extra man on the field. Running off the field was number 7, Bryce Willie, the freshman. So that'll back him up 5 yards and bring up 2nd and 15. Inside 4 minutes to play. Newport with the lead. They don't need to do much, just not turn it over and keep the ball moving. Pitch goes to the outside. Ball is on the ground, and it is picked up immediately by Kearsarge, number 45. The ball fell right into his hands. Brody Mulligan, I believe it was.
Wow, I mean, before that snap, I was really thinking the only thing that could do the Tigers in is a fumble. But a fumble recovery return for a touchdown. What a huge play for the Cougars. And now this is a 2-point game. Obviously, you've got to go for 2 here. Game's going to come down to this play. They get this, it could force overtime. But what a huge play for the Cougars. I mean, their defense has bailed them out of this game big time. Let's see if they can tie it up right here.
The ball was popped loose and went immediately into the hands of Brody Mulligan, and he just carried it in for, couldn't have been more than 5 yards. Here's a play. Magestro with a shotgun snap, and he's immediately tackled in the backfield by 2 defenders. And there's going to be a penalty flag after the play was over.
Oh.
Obviously a rough tackle, personal foul. So play was basically over. They had him wrapped up. And then a little aggressive on the tackle. So Kearsarge most likely will get another chance.
Yeah, and if I'm a gesture there, I'm at least trying to get the ball off. You can't return the ball for a touchdown on 2-point conversion, so there's no risk. But Kearsarge getting another big shot at it. If they score here, that was a big mistake from the Tigers. Let's see if the Cougars can make them pay. Yep, personal foul against Newport.
Cougar offense coming over to the sideline. They want to talk this one over with Coach Matthews and see what they can come up with. So with 3:44 to play, or I believe, so it was after the conversion attempt, so I guess that's just on the kickoff. Maybe the penalty yardage is just on the kickoff and not replay the try.
That's what it looks like.
A lot of confusion out there tonight. I don't know if what's going on, but
It's about a 25-yard kickoff.
So they're kicking from, what was it? It had to be a 30-yard. They usually kick off from what, the 40?
Yeah.
So now they're kicking off
From the 30.
30 yards, or was it 2? personal fouls added on, and then they get, never seen this before. So they're going to go for a onside kick. I guess why not? But then it was a penalty, so illegal touching before 10 yards. Try and get this thing sorted out here.
If you miss any of our shows on our 3 YCN network stations, you can always watch our programs and games anytime on our website, ycnnow.com.
Well, this sure has been an interesting opening night.
Right.
For the fact that there hasn't been a lot of points scored, there's been a lot of interesting stuff going on. So Kearsarge will get another try, move it back 5 yards. Kickoff now from the 35. I have honestly never seen 2 15-yard penalties on one play, both enforced. But they'll try it again. There's the kick and another flag. As the crowd moans, they have had enough of the men in stripes.
Well, before those last 2 flags, if Kearsarge was able to push the Newport offense back to about their 5-yard line, I was going to say, like that last Kearsarge defensive effort, maybe that'll be better for Kearsarge as their defense has really carried them tonight. Force another fumble or something, but...
I mean, if you're Kearsarge at this point, you don't go for the onside kick. You pop it up and make them call for a fair catch or something inside the 10-yard line.
Yep.
Coach Matthews yelling last-minute instructions for the kicker, and they're going to try it again. It goes right to the Newport receiver there, number 5, Joey Ackerman, and he'll basically lay on the football, make sure Newport controls it. So with 3:38 to go, we'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Final 3 minutes, 38 seconds here. Tigers with the ball and a 2-point lead, 14-12. Handoff. Newport running back not able to get anything going, and they seem to have switched it over to Cody Turgeon. I don't know if Tebow was hurt or he all of a sudden stopped getting the carries.
Yeah, it's definitely concerning for Newport.
They
has been playing phenomenal all night.
And their quarterback, Ethan Hood, has been out for most of the second half. So both these teams in the early going struggling due to injuries. Obviously, we mentioned the injury for the center for the Cougars. And they've had a number of botched snaps.
Ooh.
And there's Tebow, so he's still fine. He's healthy. He gets the pitch, doesn't get anywhere, and a couple flags in on the play. I'm guessing that's going to be holding on the offense. Coach Matthews signaling on the sidelines to decline the penalty if it is holding, and it is holding. It will be declined, and it will bring up 3rd and long.
This would be a big stop for Kearsarge. Get the ball back with still a couple minutes remaining. And really, the difference right now is just the 2 extra points that Newport has been able to convert. And really only still just 1 offensive touchdown tonight. That came from a running score by Gavin Magistro, Kearsarge's quarterback. But besides that, we started off the game with a kickoff touchdown return by Tebow, and then Tebow had a pick 6. And Gavin ran it in. Since then, Kearsarge had that fumble return for a touchdown, but that's about it.
Well, the clock is in Newport's favor. Inside 2:30, they can let the clock run down as long as they want before snapping it. And here's Malou with the pass. Intercepted, number 45, Mulligan on the pick. He's going to cut back to the left side, trying to break free, and he's not able to do it. Dylan Palmer in on the tackle. And Mulligan with the interception, setting up the Cougars inside the Newport 35.
How many turnovers is that now for Newport? Fumbles and interceptions, about 5? 4 or 5.
They've really struggled to control the football.
Yeah, and when the Newport quarterback dropped back to make that pass, the one thing I thought of, you just can't throw a pick, and that's exactly what he did. Threw it right over the middle. Mulligan able to come down with it. He has been huge in this game for Kearsarge. The Cougars have another chance to score.
The Magestro will take the snap in the shotgun with Seaholm to his right, a low snap, but he picks it up, and he's trying to get somewhere, but he can't get anywhere. And he's wrapped up inside at about the 39-yard line.
And maybe Magestro shouldn't be getting shotgun snaps. Maybe he should be right up in there to just grab the handoff. And they have struggled with that snap. Like, it's been bad. Oof.
A little hard, but Majestro's able to handle it. He's chased down now. He escapes 2 defenders. A third one finally wraps him up, and that's Tebow wrapping him up. And timeout Cougars. I believe they'll take a timeout. Trailing 14-12. 1:29 to play. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 1:29 to play. Kearsarge Cougars trailing by 2. Quite possibly their last chance, and the snap goes over the head of Magestro. He picks it up and then just falls down as he couldn't regain his footing all the way back at their own 40-yard line. And now really going to be tough for the Cougars to convert on 4th and a mile. They'll call a timeout and try and talk this one over. So take our final timeout here, and then when we come back, we'll have the Cougars' 4th down play, and then we'll give out some awards. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 4th down and very long for the Cougars, trying to come up with some miracle play here to extend this game, and it's immediately snuffed out there. Magestro really had nowhere to go. He tried stepping up in the pocket, and he tripped over someone on the ground, and he fell over backwards. So that's turnover on downs for the Cougars. Newport will take over, and Cougars only having 1 timeout to stop the clock. It looks like this one is over, but we have seen some pretty questionable exchanges between center and quarterback and running back. So until we see 000s on the scoreboard, who knows what will happen. But it's been an interesting opening night here in North Sutton. Tigers opening with 2 touchdowns to take the 14-0 lead and then not scoring again. Handoff to Tebow, and he'll run up the middle and get the 1st down, keep the clock moving. I don't understand why they're even running a play here and risking fumbling the ball.
Right. Yeah, they should definitely be trying to milk the clock down as much as possible. No throwing plays.
And Kearsarge calls their final timeout. So with 1:03 to go, no timeouts to go.
Right.
So Newport with the ball, should be over. We should have somebody who's going to win the, we're going to elect the winner for the award.
Yeah, so if Newport wins this one, which looks like they're going to, our H&R Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat player of the game. I think you have to give that to a running back, sophomore John Tebow from the Tigers. He's been a force tonight. Started off the game with a bang with the 80-plus yard kickoff touchdown return. He set the tone. And we also saw him have a 20-yard pick 6 soon after that. He's had a number of big explosive plays. He's a quick running back. He's elusive. He's been a force here tonight. You know, the Newport offense hasn't scored any points, which is kind of head-scratching, but Tebow has been a bright spot for them, and he will be lining up once again.
Yeah, the takeaway from this one, as we see the quarterback for the Tigers, I believe that is Malou under center. He will finally just take it and take a knee. The takeaway from this game is really the first game of the season. neither team played what they hope to be their best game. Neither
Right.
team played well. They struggled from the get-go. Obviously, the opening kickoff returned, as you mentioned, then the pick six. Newport didn't score after the 4:53 to go in the first quarter. I mean, that's
Right.
3 quarters.
Yeah.
They didn't score, so they didn't play their best game.
Right.
Kearsarge didn't play their best game. I don't know if we'll be seeing a lot of tape of these games down the road. But an exciting night nonetheless on our 2017 debut of the YCN Game of the Week. The clock ticking down, and it looks like that's going to be the last play. So, the final score here, the Newport Tigers 14, the Kearsarge Cougars 12. Opening night in Division 3 sees the Tigers repeat from last year with their opening win against the Cougars, and that was the difference, as we said at the top of the show, in which team went to the playoffs. So, Andrew, quickly, final thoughts of this game.
Yeah, so this was definitely a defensive effort. We only saw one offensive touchdown as both defenses really stepped up tonight. Both had a number of turnovers. Kearsarge's defense really was their saving grace tonight, even though they did lose. But really, both offenses need to get on the right page. And first game of the season, so not as good as they could be on both sides, both teams, but defenses look good. So, you know, if you're Kearsarge, you only lost by 2. If you're Newport, you didn't score for the majority of the game, but you did win this game at Kearsarge, a big first game win for them. So, Tigers looking good so far.
All right, so that's going to do it for us from North Sutton, New Hampshire. Thanks to Greg and Alex. For Andrew, I'm Jeremy Stout. The final score for the final time, Newport wins it 14-12. You've been watching the YCN Game of the Week.